And
Hey, what's up, phone lovers, and welcome to the Mobile Roar Podcast. October 2014. I'm Joe Fedua.
I am Christopher Chavez.
And I'm Kevin Kraus.
All right. I was hoping to start this podcast with a sweet rap, but apparently could not figure out how to get it started on here. But I think we'll talk about it a little bit later if anyone's wondering what we're talking about.
But that android's gonna be huge.
So it's kind of a slower week, which is kind of good because last week was just insanity. So this week a little bit slower. But there is something a little bit insane going on, and that is people requesting invites for a brand new email app from Google called Inbox. Do any of you have an invite for this?
I don't even know what it
there we
is, to
go.
be honest with you.
It's Gmail, but better.
It's like a
Somehow.
material design version of Gmail.
Well, have you ever heard of the app Mailbox?
Well, yeah, that's what it initially reminded me of, but I don't
It's
see
a
it.
lot, yeah. It's a lot like Mailbox. At first, I was like, wait a minute, did Google buy a Mailbox and I just forgot?
And something happened. Well, they said it's made by the people that did Sparrow.
Oh,
I
yeah.
forget
Okay, so they finally use that
Yeah.
purpose.
the guy that did that. So
Why should I use Inbox and not Gmail?
Well, to me at least, like some people were asking, okay, why isn't this just like a view in Gmail and why is this separate from Gmail? To me, it seems like Gmail would be what you would use if you're a power user and you just want to get you want to get every email, you want to have tons of filters and forwarding and labels and blah blah blah. Where it seems like Inbox is more casual, where it kind of like it gives you the emails that it thinks are really important and it kind of like organizes things for you.
But I want
Uh,
all my email.
yeah, so that's what I mean. Like you might be someone who would want to stick with Gmail then, but I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. That's the way that I took it.
I've
Uh,
seen it described, I mean, this is out for iOS, Chrome on your computer, and then Android, right? So it's out for multiple platforms, but
yeah,
I've seen it described as a mix between Gmail and Google Now, at least when it comes to
right.
the iOS version of it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying. Where because Google now does that, where it tries to give you information that it thinks that you need at that moment, and that's kind of where it's like it's giving you emails that it thinks are important right now, and you can like snooze emails like, so hey, this I want to get this when I get home, and of course Google knows where your home is, so it will give you that when you get home. So
it's interesting.
yeah,
I,
I
I would have
haven't
to.
been able to use it yet, so
I don't know. Like my inbox is so just cluttered. My Gmail anyway is like all the work emails that we get and all the stuff. I mean, it's so horrible, and I'm wondering if it'll be able to, I guess, just sift through all that stuff and bring me like, improve my mail or email
yeah.
experience. I don't know if it will or if it needs something a little more casual. Just people that just use email for regular stuff. I don't know, but I need something to get my email under control because it's just, yeah, it's
That's
insane.
exactly what I'm hoping it will do too, is
Yeah.
See,
maybe clean things up.
I mean, I feel like I'm often, when it comes to work emails, I get a lot. But in my personal life, I don't communicate that much through email, so I've never really been someone that I do get a lot of email on one hand, but on the other hand, I never feel overwhelmed with it. I don't feel like I need an app to be telling me when or if I should read a message or not, because I just
Email
don't
is
have.
definitely a one-way street, like you were saying for me too. I feel like I have so much coming in
Yeah.
that I don't know if I send hardly any.
Yeah, I hardly ever am emailing out. You've got so many other messaging platforms. I talk to people on Facebook messages. I talk to people on SMS and iMessage, and then um, email just somehow becomes such a secondary form of communication.
It's just noise.
But I mean, it's cool though. I don't know. I feel like people are trying to. There are so many different ways of communicating. It's kind of like email is sort of taking a back seat lately, but I guess for work, and sometimes you want to send a lot of photos to somebody, and you don't want them all compressed and dumb, and I don't know. I think there's still times when
There's
email
there's
is like the
places
best
for it, but I mean, it's interesting now that I think about it. I used to use email a lot more as a personal communication method a few years back, and I really
option.
it feels like people in general, my friends and I, we've moved away from email as a primary form of communication. And you talk about even using email to share large files, but there's other ways to do that. I mean, you can send a Dropbox link via any type of messaging that you want to, or I mean, I mean, this is Apple Mail, but they have their um, the iCloud attachment sending now. So there's, I think as all these formats kind of mature, they all can do so much and do different things. And email is starting to feel a little bit stale and old.
Email is becoming like SMS, where
Yeah.
everyone has a number, so you can get a hold of anyone with an email, but there are better ways to do it. It's just a matter of, okay, is this person using that method?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just not dynamic enough either. I think um, the way conversations naturally are in our everyday life is more akin to kind of how we use a messaging service like iMessage or like Hangouts, a back and forth conversation. Email really came from a time when not everyone was even communicating digitally, so it wasn't this constant inundated with email and kind of respond to slowly. Email, even though it's digital and immediate, I mean, it's still kind of a slow format.
Yeah.
I hate it. I've grown to hate it.
And the other thing to talk about with inbox is, of course, the invites, and people are asking us for invites
Invite
as we speak
system.
right now.
Everyone
Um,
loves the invite system.
yeah, they did it with Google Plus. They did it when Gmail was brand new, I believe. Um, I can see the benefit of it, but I mean, I don't know. I saw someone say that they think if Google Plus would have started with just like everyone could sign up immediately, it might be more like way more popular these days. But I don't know.
That's true. I
It
totally
could
agree
be,
with
it
that.
could be the opposite too. I mean, there's a dual benefit to doing an invite system is one, you can kind of slowly let the system be able to handle greater amounts of traffic, but then the other benefit is you hear something's invite only and you just naturally want to be like, oh, that sounds like, it's exclusive. You want to be a part of it. So you might
I
not
gotta have it.
like I doubt that inbox is something I want to use, but I'm starting to feel curious to the point where I'm like, I need an invite. I want to check it out.
I need to get an invite. Yeah.
Spot when you do the invite only system, you can't drag people along too long. I mean, you want to make I don't know, you want to make people feel like, oh, I need to get invited to this. I want to be a part of this. But yeah, if you wait too long to get people in, they lose
Yeah.
interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're talking about the company that's mastered the invite system. They had a device, Google Glass, that you had to be invited to spend $1,500, and people did it. So,
Uh,
they know how to work the invite.
maybe that's true. I don't know. I just feel like nowadays so many services come with this invite only system. Like there was Elo a couple weeks ago, that social network. And after a while, there's just so many invite only services that you kind of just feel like, well, I'm not even going to waste my time signing up for this one.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's another one, and then they're gonna notify me eventually. Like I've already forgotten, and there's like, man, wasn't there like 100 things I signed up for invites for, and you don't even remember anymore? It's like,
Yeah, Chris,
it's,
have you got your coin yet?
oh my gosh, I'm so upset about that. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know what the status is. I have no clue at all. Like, what is going on with that?
And what was that other thing like? Navdi?
There's Navdi.
I think there was another coin like thing called Plastic. Did you guys see that? I don't think we even talked.
Yeah, I saw that one. That one was actually pretty cool. It's like super coin. So like they already beat coin before it's even out. Someone already came out with a competing product that's not out yet. I guess it's just like
Yeah, they haven't beat anyone.
I guess
but
Apple Pay beat coin,
it's so ridiculous.
but I mean that's getting sidetracked a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's all we have to really say about Inbox. So it's hard for us to talk about it because none of us have invites to even explain how we like it. So
If
hopefully
you
by
haven't
next episode.
If you have an invite, you can tweet me at you don't know Kev.
Yeah.
Send me that.
Those inbox invites.
Boy. All right, so let's move on to our second big topic. Not really a news-related thing, just kind of something that happened this week. G1 turned 6 years old,
Yeah.
and I thought
That
we
took
would talk about it
seriously.
because, I mean, the G1, it started it all for
Yeah.
Android. And
The OG.
I know Chris, especially, has probably some warm feelings about this because he made quite a few videos about the G1 back in the day.
Single greatest and worst phone I've ever owned in my entire life.
Emo gamer.
I would say it's more the worst phone I've ever owned. It was horrible. Like I was kind of late to the game with it. It's like because now we have yearly updates on every phone, so every phone you get a sequel every year, which kind of like Apple started. But back then the G1 was out for almost a full 2 years before we saw like some like worthy upgrades to it. But I jumped in after a year, so the first year it came out, it was already kind of underpowered and a little bit sucky. And there was really no apps in the Android market, and I was like, I was still in my Sidekick, and I was like, you know what? I think I'll jump to that G1. It's got a pretty sweet keyboard, but I think I'll wait a year for them to get some apps and stuff. So I waited a year, jumped in on it. The phone was horribly underpowered, and you had to hack it and do all kinds of stupid stuff to it just to get it running properly. And that's when my whole journey with the G1 began. Horrible,
Yeah,
dark.
I did notice because I was looking through your old videos yesterday because I did a post on Fandroid celebrating it, and I wanted to get a picture of Chris from back when he was making those videos because I thought it would be funny.
That
And
was
yeah,
literally
the
my
one
first
came
video.
out in 2008, and your first video on it was like 2009. I was surprised. I thought that you had it on like day one or something.
No, I was late, kind of late to it, I guess, as usual.
Gotta make load up sweet custom ROMs and
Oh man, yeah. By then the developer community was already pretty big on it too. So like it was right. Well, I would say big, but it was just kicking off. So like initially people were still trying to figure out how to hack it and do a bunch of things to it. But by the time I jumped on it, it was like things were just kicking off, starting to thrive, and I don't know. I started making ridiculous videos. I don't even know why, to be honest.
uh,
But I mean, it got me where I am today. So where it all worked out.
It's crazy. I mean, you look at 6 years old, and I half feel like I can't believe it's actually that old, and the other half is like it feels like it's been around forever. And it is pretty crazy to think how long the G1 existed, and there was almost no movement in the Android world in terms of major hardware upgrades. You think about today, yeah, you have like your phone is
Oh
good
my
for 6 months
gosh.
before you need to upgrade it, and back in the day, the G1 was around for years. I mean, most people probably didn't even hear about Android mainstream until at least the Motorola Droid came out, and that was
what
two
was
years
the
down the road.
what was the time difference between the G1 release and the Droid release?
I think it was, let's see, that was 2009. The Droid came out in
The Droid came
2000,
out in 2009, November of 2009.
yeah. And then the G1 came out in 2008, something, early October 2008.
Yeah, it was like October 2008.
So it was almost a year after, or something, right around there. That's kind of interesting. Was it? That doesn't sound right. It sounds like, I think it was like 2 years after the G1 came out, but
The other
Yeah,
thing
that's
that's
right.
crazy is the picture that I'm screen sharing right now. You look at the size of the Nexus 6 compared to the G1, and it
that
is
is the best photo
quite
ever.
amazing.
The best photo. It's insane to see that. I can't even. Oh my gosh, to even think about that. Like everyone nowadays is just like, oh, those bezels. Look at the G1, man. No one cared about bezels back then. Anything had a chin on it.
Someone actually replied to that tweet and said, still had smaller bezels than the iPhone. And I'm like, what?
I don't know about that. That was a pretty
I
chunky little Android phone.
guess if you shift the screen down, then you got the top bezel. Yeah, maybe. But the G1. I think I sold it to somebody, and they were like all happy about it. Like, oh, I got Game Recorder's G1. I
But
was
that's I want to ask everyone that's listening right now. You can let us know. You can tweet at us or leave a comment in the Google Plus page right now, and we'll see it. What was your first Android phone? Did you start with the G1? I did not. I was on Verizon, so I didn't really ever have a chance to get the G1. What
Oh
about you?
yeah, I forgot. That's a pretty big majority of people too. All the Verizon peoples.
Yeah, I got on with the Droid. I remember getting the Droid. Like, I think I got it, if not the day it came out, like the week it came out. That's because I had kind of been salivating over trying to get an iPhone, but that was long before the iPhone was available in multiple carriers in the U.S. So wanted that smartphone, got the Droid, and really liked the Android for a couple of years, but finally figured I'd give iOS a real shot. You
That's funny you mentioned that. I wonder how many people on Verizon got the Droid because they couldn't get the iPhone and stuck with Android because of that.
I remember when I first got my Droid, and I was in undergrad college at that point in time. And this was still before even a lot of people had iPhones, but smartphones definitely weren't dominant. It wasn't as odd to see someone with a feature phone back then because, there was only really one good smartphone option out there. But I would go to parties with my Droid and always be trying to show people how cool it was.
Show it off. Hey,
Yeah,
hey, lady,
I'd be
check
like,
this.
check out my swiping keyboard and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, well. Okay, so let's get to some of our questions that we have here today before we get to some of our quicker news. Do you guys know if the U.S. Nexus 6 can be used in Europe, France specifically, from Sean Latin?
US Nexus 6. There's going to be two models. There's going to be the international model and the US model. So I think it will work, but if you want like full compatibility and all that stuff, then you're going to want to go with the international model for sure.
Okay. Does the Nexus 6 have double tap to unlock feature?
Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah, and the
Um,
Nexus 9 does too, I saw the other day.
Yep, double tap to unlock, and it also, if you pick it up, as soon as you pick it up, the gyroscope knows and it activates the screen. Doesn't unlock it, but I mean, I guess it wakes it or whatever. So it does wake the phone. And that's an actual a feature with Lollipop, not just the Nexus 6. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
That question was from Alexander Gomer. Nice last name. I like that. And he also asked, have any of us actually played with the Nexus 6? And no, none of us have yet.
Not played with it. I've seen it in the flesh at the Motorola event, but yeah, didn't actually get to play with it. This thing's freaking huge. I can tell you that. A skateboard.
Important question here from Sizu PL. Do you like pizza, Kevin?
yeah, I do. I think that's probably my favorite food. So
You're on a desert island. You have pizza, chicken nuggets, and you can only choose one. Which do you
I'm
choose?
going with pizza. Definitely pizza or pasta are usually good choices, but
Yeah.
I do like pizza. So
Sean Latin says that he had the OG G1 on day one.
oh, he's more hardcore than all of us. Maybe he should get on the
He is.
podcast.
Day one.
Kudos to you, man.
Seems to be
All right.
good.
So I guess we'll just move on to a quick hits. You can keep leaving your comments about your first Android phone, first smartphone in general.
You know what I would like to find out is I would like to find out what the first like maybe 5 apps were that came out on Android, like maybe the popular ones.
Yeah.
And see
Yeah,
if they're
Sean Latin,
still
you have
around.
that thing. Tell us.
Yeah, if they're still around today. Like what was it? Shop Savvy, I think was like a really big one back in the
was
day.
big with like the barcode scanners were
Yeah,
really
yeah,
popular
yeah.
at that point in time.
Oh, I totally forgot to mention. I said we were going to talk about this. The G1 wrap.
Oh yeah.
What?
Now you can have 1G for all your.
If you okay, everyone has to watch this video. It's circa 2008 Fandroid.
It's very 2008. It's very
Rob
2008.
Jackson made this video wrapped for the G1, and it is great. It's
That's awesome.
it's actually really well done. Yeah. I did a post yesterday about the 6th birthday for the G1, and I have it embedded in there. Go to that post and watch the
Yeah, you
video.
gotta watch
You will
it.
not be sorry.
Yeah, it's good. It's a little bit dated at this point in time, but
It's a throwback. It's a throwback.
but it makes them, Throwback Thursday, makes some bold predictions about Android that actually came true. So
Yeah, it does. It does.
He even predicted the death of Steve Jobs in that one. It's kind of crazy. It's a prophet. It's Rob Jackson, the prophet.
Oh gosh. All right, so moving on. Nexus 6 pre-orders beginning on October 29th, and it's going to be shipping in the early November. So that is cool. $650 unlocked, as we mentioned last week. Got to pay for your specs, man.
Dude, no one's gonna buy it unlocked. Everyone's gonna get it subsidized. Nobody on the planet is gonna buy
Get
it.
that subsidized. Pay your subsidy price.
Yeah.
Android Wear 4.4W.2 is rolling out now to Moto 360, LG Watch. I think it's coming to the Gear Live, I assume.
All right, here's a question that I don't know if Google answered. When is Lollipop gonna go to Android Wear?
Lollipop, lollipop.
I
They
don't
haven't.
know if
Is this technically still considered the material design Lollipop? Like, because I thought the whole point of Lollipop was to get it on all the different devices.
Yeah, it's
That
interesting.
is true.
I guess I don't know. I mean, I always just viewed Android Wear as kind of just like an extension of what's running on your phone. So like if your phone has Lollipop, maybe I
Your
don't know.
watch has lollipop.
I don't know. I think
I mean,
that's
a
I mean,
lot
they,
of the
they
design
did talk
hasn't
about
changed much.
they talk about with the new APIs and stuff that are coming out, the watch face APIs that's going to come with lollipop. So I'm guessing lollipop will come. I mean, to the Android Wear as soon as everyone else gets it. When
Yeah.
it starts rolling out Nexuses and stuff. Be
interesting.
interesting.
Okay, here's a interesting story. 1+1 pre-orders are
What?
beginning on October 27th.
Pre-orders?
No more contests, no more invites.
Oh yeah, talk about
Straight up,
invite.
straight up pre-order.
And then wait.
Wait,
Still want
Wait.
to pre-order this phone? I
why
mean,
can you
it's been out.
pre-order a device that's been out for like 6 months?
Yeah,
How does that work?
I mean out with quotations there. Yeah,
I've seen them. I've actually ran into several people that you wouldn't expect
No way.
who have a OnePlus One. Yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah.
It's
People
pretty
that
nuts.
people
Everyone-
that I like probably keyed in, but not really like super tech savvy people. So there are people out there with OnePlus One, and I'm always like, "Why'd you get that phone?" And they're just like, "It has a really big screen."
Look at the
It's the
display.
only phone with a big screen out there.
The display this big. I've actually I've gotten a bunch of invites and I bought 2 already. But every time I buy them, I have somebody offering like a ridiculous amount of money to buy it off me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't refuse. It's an offer I can't refuse. So I've sold them twice, and then I gave invites to my friend, and he did the exact same thing. He's like, I love this phone. It's so big. It's so crazy. And he's like, some dude's offering me $700 for it, and I'm like, you know what to do, man.
That's actually the iPhone 6 Plus is the same exact thing right now.
Oh,
There's
really?
this sports radio guy that I listened to. He bought the iPhone 6 Plus because he thought he was gonna love it, and then he started not loving it. So he went to sell it, and like during his show, he had it on eBay, and he was just watching his bids go up and up and up, and like he was over like $850.
Dang.
And
That's
they're going for like thousands on eBay right now because they're hard to get still. So if you had one of those, you could be making some nice money on it.
That would be awesome. Maybe I should sell. Oh yeah, I never got a Plus, but are the Pluses still hard? Are they still out of stock and they're still like?
Yeah, I think the 6 is still pretty hard to find too. I had a friend who said he finally got to order one, but he had to drive to like Virginia from Maryland to pick it up. So
That must be an East Coast
Like
thing.
keep calling the places and get lucky that they get a shipment right when you want to get one or something
yeah,
like that.
it's still pretty.
Did I talk about my broken iPhone 6 yet on the show? Did I
I
ever?
don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that as my fail then.
Okay. So last thing on our list here, new iPads are available right now, and the consensus is you should not buy an iPad Mini 3.
Yeah, I think that is because it's basically, other than the addition of Touch ID, the same exact thing as last year's iPad Mini. So people seem to be saying, unless you really need that Touch ID on your tablet, which is cool on your phone because it works, it's one hand, whatever. I don't think it's as useful on the tablet necessarily. But yeah, you should just spend less money and get last year's model.
Yeah, it's almost insulting, the iPad 3.
It's almost-
It really
When I
is.
see it, it's like being slapped in the face every time.
It's like, really, Apple, you're trying to sell this to me? Come on.
This is an insult. How
The
dare you?
most Apple move ever.
It's the most
Yeah.
Apple move ever.
This year we put a 3 in the name.
Designed a tablet that would be indistinguishable from last year's model.
No one will know you have it, but you will know you have it.
But the iPad Air 2 is actually getting pretty good reviews. People say that's a cool tablet.
Yeah.
And the first Air, I love the first Air. I have it, and it is a great tablet. One of my favorite tablets that I've used, and definitely the best iPad ever made. So I'm assuming the Air 2, which is actually interesting. They found out that 8X processor in it is triple core, which is kind of an interesting number of cores. And
Interesting.
the first time Apple has moved past a dual core processor on any of their devices, so that's cool.
The iPad line has just become, I mean, I think they need to stop updating it yearly.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these things, it's kind of like, why is there already another one? Because then they add such very small things,
Yeah.
and it's
Well,
not really wowing anybody, and it's just kind of
I think
confusing a
what they
lot of
need to
people.
do and what they tried to do, but there was a little bit of a backlash about it when they dropped the numbering and just released the new iPad. I felt like they were trying to transition more into treating their iPads sort of like their MacBook lines,
Yeah.
which they update multiple times a year, but they just don't make a big deal about it. They just say, okay, well, we just put a faster processor here, better screen there, made it thinner, blah blah blah. I think Apple thought about doing that or tried to do that, but the iPad's just such a big product. People get so excited about each launch that it's almost the demand for the iPad makes it too hard for Apple to just slip out a little update here and there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they definitely do need to go the Mac route because, I mean, the Mac has become so good that there's essentially never a bad time to buy one. And that's almost what the iPad is getting, you know. It used to be, oh, wait till they come out with a new one, but now it's just such minimal updates. It's like, it's not really that horrible of a time to buy one. Just go
Yeah.
get one.
You can get that $250 original iPad mini, and it's not even going to be that much worse than the iPad Mini 3. I mean, very similar
Hmm.
overall.
All right, so wins and fails of the week. Keeping in the Apple vein here. Kevin, what do you got for us?
So last week's iPad event, aside from announcing these new iPads which are now available, they also announced the launch of OS 10 Yosemite, the new Yosemite update for Macs. Downloaded that. Monday came with the iOS 8.1 update for iPhone. So if you're an OS Yosemite user or an iOS 8 user, or I guess if you're using both, you can take advantage of the new handoff features that Apple's made such a big deal about. And trust me, they're absolutely as cool as Apple has made them out to be. You can get text messages and phone calls on your messaging app on your computer. So now when I'm home, I can literally just leave my iPhone in another room, don't even have to touch it, and while I'm working, I can just get everything on one screen, answer a phone call, respond to group SMSs and group iMessages. It's great. I haven't personally used it, but I've heard good things about the personal hotspot. When you come in range of your computer, it automatically turns on your hotspot. So a lot of cool things with the handoff features. And other little things. You can finally airdrop files between your phone and your computer. So now I don't have to go some roundabout way to upload a photo to Dropbox every time I want to look at it on my computer. I can just shoot it over. So
I didn't know that.
it's really nice. So those updates, the way that Yosemite and iOS 8 interface, Apple's done a really good job with that. And just on the Yosemite side, I think it's a great update. I think it looks really nice and it works well. So I'm very pleased with that. That's definitely my win of the week. As for my fail, the other thing that came with iOS 8.1 and that launched on Monday was Apple Pay in the US, and apparently it also works for certain retailers in Europe and other places that at least will accept American cards. So I guess you just have to be linked to an American institution. It doesn't necessarily mean that you can't use Apple Pay outside the country. But that aside, Apple Pay launched, and there, believe it or not, were some bugs, some issues with it. The,
Surprise, surprise.
probably the worst of which was Bank of America customers, when they were paying with Apple Pay, were finding out that they were being charged double for a lot of the transactions.
Oh man,
What?
So
that's pretty horrible.
Double the charges. Imagine if you bought a computer or something with that. You're like, I'm gonna use Apple Pay because it's so cool and so in right now.
How many
Apple
pounds
Pay,
to buy a new Mac? Oh
Apple
God,
Pay,
$5,000. What?
Boom.
twice the speed, double the price. Yeah.
That's going to be a nightmare for Bank of America
Yeah,
to
so Bank of
deal with
America's
all that.
acknowledged it, and they said that they're working on a fix. They actually acknowledged this yesterday, so it might already be fixed because they said they were working on a fix yesterday. Um, but that they're gonna probably have to refund some money to some people, and
Overdraft fees.
it's just yeah, that would be the worst if you double paid your way into an overdraft fee, and yeah, dealing with banks is already a pain in the neck. So not the smoothest Apple Pay rollout, but I guess on the flip side, it's gonna happen, and then hopefully it'll be up from here.
I've also saw a few sites who wanted to like test it out, and they went out just looking for places to use it, and it's kind of hard to find places to use it right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, still taking a while. I think it's going to be another couple months before you see everyone have it, but
I mean, you're mostly going to be guaranteed to have it at major retailers. I know a lot of stadiums are accepting it already. The World Series stadiums in San Francisco and Kansas City both said that they'll be accepting Apple Pay during the World Series. So, but if you go to a big retailer that's signed on, they have people like Toys R Us and I'm sure it's Starbucks and all those places. So,
Chris, didn't you post something last night about Google Wallets? They're gonna have like an ad campaign coming up.
yep, because nobody knows that Google Wallet works in all the same places as Apple Pay. So it was the director of Google Commerce or whatever they call it, that person, but they said that they're going to be launching a new ad campaign that's going to just, I guess, try to spread the word about Google Wallet since nobody even knows it exists. Just about everyone has access to it on their phone. So if you have a KitKat or Hire device, you can get Google Wallet and use Tap to Pay on your phone, but nobody knows that. So
They should
um,
hire the Samsung marketing team because
oh,
they'd be good at doing a snarky like some guy comes
oh,
up with
they
an iPhone and does
would.
it, and this guy's like, "Oh, I could do that too with my
I
phone."
think, I probably wouldn't be surprised if Samsung does start doing something like that because everything. I mean, they're all about that. Everything you can do, I can do better. So
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think the only thing holding it back right now is the fact that everyone has their own mobile wallet and the carriers are trying to push theirs, and Android gives you the choice to use whatever you want, but uh, but with Samsung, they have to update their device. You have to have KitKat in order to do it. So I think they would probably want to make sure like X amount of devices have KitKat before they start advertising it as this like awesome new feature that kills Apple Pay or something. But
Well, I'm sure they'll come out with S Pay or something like that.
oh gosh, yeah, Spay,
Can
Samaled,
I pay for this?
Slether.
Hashtag spay. All right, so my win of the week is gonna be Christian Bale as Steve Jobs. I almost said Batman.
It's Batman.
As Batman as
No, it's Batman as Steve Jobs. That's what's happening.
That'd be a cool movie if instead of it being Bruce Wayne, it was just Steve Jobs was actually Batman.
Yeah, it's like Batman, and he's got those round like Harry Potter glasses like Steve Jobs used to always wear.
Yeah, and maybe he just faked his death so he could pick up the mantle of the Caped Crusader,
I mean, that's exactly what happened at the end of Batman Returns or whatever there was. Batman Forever, Batman Night.
Batman's got this black turtleneck on with a bat.
Dude, Michael Keaton, I'm on like 99% positive Michael Keaton in Batman, the first ones, he wore a black turtleneck with jeans.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, he did as Bruce Wayne. Yeah,
I'm going to get a screenshot of that.
Glasses on, yeah.
Someone, how is no one photoshopped this yet?
Except the thing is that he would replace the entire utility belt with an iPhone and just be like, "There's an app for that."
Hold on, I got an app for
Do
that.
it all.
Changing his voice.
I heard about this Christian Bale playing Steve Jobs. So there's another Steve Jobs movie coming out?
Yeah, there always has been two. Let's see, there's two autobiographies about him, or biography. I can never remember which one it is.
Biopics or something.
Yeah, and the first one was like rushed out pretty quick, but this one is taking a lot longer.
Ashton Kutcher one was horrible. And we talked about that one, I think, in the podcast many.
I think we can almost guarantee that whatever this movie is, it'll be better than that one.
It'll be better than Ashton Kutcher's version.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. This is my win of the week because I think Christian Bale is a pretty good actor. I like the movies that he's in, and I think he'll do a good job.
Yeah, I agree.
I
For
can
sure.
I can definitely see him as Steve Jobs. So
Totally.
yeah,
Oh, and
Totally.
this is the one that's by Aaron Sorkin, right?
yeah,
So he's always known for doing good stuff, and he did The Social Network. So
yeah, and that's exactly like I think it'll be good because I really liked The Social Network. I thought that was a great movie about. It was a movie about like the tech industry that he made it relatable to everyone. So yeah, I think he'll do a good job.
yeah, it'll be
Interesting.
interesting.
Uh, I don't need to talk about this much because I already kind of did, but my fail is the inbox invite only thing. I get it, but I don't like it.
Can't
I
can't abide.
yeah.
Invites are bad. Okay.
It's
Okay.
been I applied for an invite really quickly. Right like before they had even tweeted about it or anything, I somehow saw the blog post and I sent the email to the inbox at google.com or whatever that email address was, and I got a reply, and then a little bit later it was like not working for people, but I got in before that, so I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll actually get an invite pretty quick, and it's been like 24 hours and I've heard nothing. So
You're not gonna get one. I
yeah,
sent an email. I mean, mine wasn't really that quick, but I got a delivery failed notice, and it just like came right back to me. I'm like,
yeah,
really? Return
that's what I was talking
sender.
about. Yeah, it was like failing for everyone. I was like, oh sweet, I got mine in before that,
Can we just
but
bring back Google Wave
Let's just call it a day.
or Google Buzz? That's what I
uh,
really want. Was it
Oh
Buzz?
yeah.
What was that?
What
it's
was the
so
difference
funny.
between Buzz
Every
and
time
Wave?
Google does have a new product, people are always like, "Hey, remember Google Wave?"
Yeah. I was behind Wave. I thought Wave was a great idea. I can't remember what it did right now, but I liked
I
it a
bet
lot.
you were so hyped for Wave.
Dude, I was really hyped for Wave. Buzz, not so much, but Wave, definitely.
I don't even remember what the difference between Buzz and Wave is.
Buzz was more like a Twitter type thing.
Yeah, Buzz was Twitter. It was their Twitter thing, and then Wave was their
Collaborative social thing.
collaborative social. Yeah, I think so. It's kind of like the beginning of Drive and the beginning of Google Plus.
I
So
think
I mean,
Wave
I think
was
it's the way.
presented more as like a productivity thing, like to collaborate at work and stuff. But
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna tweet the Google Wave video as like Throwback Thursday from the Android account.
remember this?
Yeah.
Don't get your hopes up about
All
Inbox.
right. So Chris, what's your wins and fail?
My win for the week is going to be the HTC One M8. HTC has been pretty, I guess, just vigilant and proactive about getting the iExperience plus Android 4.4.4, 4.4.4, yeah, update out to their devices. So I think it was a couple weeks ago we saw it go out to the unlocked HTC One M8, and then it was the developer edition. And we're like, oh, it's going to be a couple months before we even see this update hit the carrier devices, but nope. Yesterday it rolled out to Verizon. The day before that it rolled out to T-Mobile, and then they also updated the One M8 on Sprint and or the E8 and the M8 on Sprint. But it's not the I update. It was just some international Wi-Fi calling thing. But it seems like they're doing pretty darn good job about getting this update out, and it's just something. I mean, whether or not you're an HTC, you have an HTC phone or not, it's always something to kind of consider and keep in the back of your mind when you watch a company do this, and they're just so active about getting all these crazy new software updates out and quickly. It's just it's cool. It's very very cool to see. So that's going to be my win. My fail for the week is, and I guess I didn't talk about this that much, but my iPhone 6 busted on day one. So the very first day I got the iPhone 6, I had it laying on some tile. I went to pick it up and I just flipped it like a pancake, like boop, and it just made these little pits in the glass. And I was like, oh, no big deal. Those might buff out. I'll just leave them alone. Sure enough, within minutes, I hear like a crack, and I'm like, what in the world? And I look, and there's just like a big old crack across the screen. And I'm like, oh, that's horrible. And then I wait a little bit longer, I hear another, ah, what's going on? I look at my phone, another crack. So it's just like, I guess it made these little
That's terrible.
things in the screen, cracked the display. But, and here's my real fail, was the fact that the phone, I started having some really horrible battery life issues where it would die within maybe like 8 hours tops without even doing anything to it. You just have it sitting there. Contacted Apple Care. They had me do all kinds of stuff. They had me factory reset my phone. started it from scratch. I had to wait like multiple days while doing this because they said I had to wait maybe like 8+ hours while the phone was completely factory reset to see if it's a problem. Still did that. They made me go through some sort of diagnostics check, and they said, no, your battery checks out. Everything's fine. I'm like, well, there's obviously something very wrong about this phone because it's dying still after a fresh factory reset, no apps, no nothing. So finally get an appointment with my Apple Genius at my local mall. Go see that guy, and while we're in the store, the phone dies and it won't charge again. So he's just like, "Oh, this is interesting. Your phone just won't charge anymore." And I'm like, "What the heck's going on?" And it's, well, the battery's got a green in diagnostics. Your battery is good. So I don't know, man. The guy was like some hippie, like surfer dude. I don't know, bro. I've never seen this happen before. He was just so like laughing and happy, and I'm like, this is not a funny. It's not a laughing matter, dude. And it was ridiculous. And he's like, well, I would just replace it with the ones we got back here, but you got these cracks on your screen. And I was like, what are you trying to say? He was like, well, when you have a cracked display, it trumps any other hardware defect, whether it's our fault or not. And I was like, I spent a friggin' grand on a paperweight that's just dead now. And he's like, well, you can just fix a display. And he's just going through, like, just punching all these buttons in on his iPad. And I'm like, he's like, well, there's just no issue for a cracked display and a battery defect. And I was like, let me just see. And I had to like look at his iPad and look at the little options and help him like work through it. So eventually they replaced it, and it was just a total train wreck. And my blood was just like boiling, and it was not,
Yeah,
I guess, not a typical Apple Store visit.
I have some terrible stories about the Genius Bar. Once they needed to replace a hard drive in a MacBook, and they said that if they replaced it at the store, I was like, cool, but you'll let me have the dead drive so I can try to recover the files off it. And they were like, no, we have to keep that drive. Like, you can't leave with both drives.
So how do I get my stuff back? Like,
Yeah, what'd you do?
I was just like, no thanks, I'll go take it to someone that'll just try to restore the drive then. Like,
that's weird. I mean, that's kind of interesting because my MacBook Air the other day completely crapped out on me and wiped, just died. And it's a solid state drive, so you would think they're a little more stable than just like a spinny one, but whatever.
Yeah, this was the older generation MacBook Pro with the magnetic drive, and it was a known issue that the Apple drive died. It was actually my sister's computer, and her drive had died like 2 or 3 times on different models that she got replaced. So I went and I was like, and they're like, well, we don't restore the drive, but we can just put a new drive in there. I'm like, okay, but you'll give me the other drive so I can get that restored in my own time. And they were like, no, you can only like leave with one drive because we're replacing. And I'm like, I have no use for that drive if it doesn't work. So like, what does it hurt to give it to me to go try to fix it? Like,
what are you gonna do with that drive? Like, well, we're gonna throw it in the dumpster out back. It's like, so if I sit out there and I wait for you to throw it out, like, no, sir, you can't have it back. Ridiculous.
I try to avoid the Genius Bar. I've never had good luck with them.
Yeah, and meanwhile, like, you see other people, they're just going up and like, yeah, da 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 da, and they're just like helping them, swapping them out without like doing anything. Just like, what? Ugh. So frustrating. Whatever. Gotta get that Apple Care though. Always get the Apple Care.
That's what they say. All right, app picks. Kevin, what do you got?
All right, so my pick, it's not new by any means. Digital Duds is the name of the app. That's Duds, D-U-D with a Z. This app actually, I think it first came out last year, but it's been around for a little bit. And what Digital Duds is if you're in the market for a last-minute Halloween costume, if you haven't thought of something, this is the app, you might have seen this, that has an animation that they sell pre-made costumes that you can slide your phone into, and they pair up with certain animations in the app to create, like a beating heart coming out of like a zombie chest, or like masks with googly eye type thing.
Oh,
yeah,
what are you talking about now?
Pretty cool effects, and the costumes aren't that expensive if you actually want to buy one from them. So I'm bringing it up today, so people that want to get a last minute thing have time to get it shipped out. But it's like $25-$30 for the costumes that you can put the phone in that match up with animations. But the cool thing about it is that the app itself is free, and you can play all of these animations in the app without actually buying a costume. So if you'd rather be a little more creative and create your own costume that incorporates one of these Digital Duds animations, you can do that as well. So I figured it's worth mentioning before Halloween. And I actually, there's more about this app going to be in an article that I'm putting up on Fandroid later today about some Halloween apps and games. So check back later for that for more information and the links for all the Digital Duds stuff.
Yeah, and maybe we can talk about that next week because we'll be podcasting the day before Halloween. So
Yes.
that'll be cool.
Oh, I'll dress up. I think I'm gonna dress up.
Yeah, we dressed up last year.
We should get Edgar back on the show just for a Halloween episode.
I dressed up as Edgar last week.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'll just do that again, and then he'll be here.
Yeah.
All right, my app pick is certainly not new either. It's Skype, but it has a cool new feature rolling out. It's on the Windows Phone version right now, but it will soon come to Android and iOS. And it's drawing. You can send a drawing to people. It'll give you a blank canvas on the screen, and then you can just choose from colors and draw whatever you want, and then you can send it. It's kind of a nifty, cool feature that I think Microsoft wants Skype to be more like a messenger type app. So having things like this can actually want to use it more. So neat.
I mean, are they gonna get to like be able to tell you if the other person's heart is beating or something? What is it?
No, it's not that cool.
Not that cool. You get to feel their heartbeat.
Hey, bro,
Once
send
we
me
get
your
that-
heartbeat. All right, man.
Talk to me when they get that feature.
Yeah.
Okay, so my app picks, I kind of have two because one of them's for iOS right now. I don't even know if it's coming out for Android. I'm sure it will eventually, but right now it's actually physically available for iOS. But it's the new Facebook Rooms. This is their I guess it's like a message board / like almost like a forum.
Yeah,
really
it's
sure how to-
kind of like Reddit.
Like Reddit. They say it's like Reddit. So I guess it is kind of more like a forum, but message board type deal thing. But it's been like rumored for a while. I think we wrote a post about it a while back, but I guess now it's finally here, and kind of interesting. I was playing around with it a little bit, but didn't really have time to fully sign in. And it's weird because you sign up or you jump into a room. You can only get into a room by getting an invite. And the invites are these QR codes that you have to take a screenshot of. And once you take the screenshot, the app goes into your photos, looks for that screenshot, and it reads the QR code.
What?
And then you get into that room. So it's kind of like hey, man, you got the pass? Like, oh, yeah, let me email it to you, bro, or let me message it. I message it to you.
It's even more difficult.
But it's interesting. So, yeah, there's only, like, actual, like, physical code or password you put to get into them. You got to have that little QR code. But interesting. It looks pretty darn cool. I think I want to try to use it and see if maybe I can get some friends on there, but we'll have to see about that. And I got my other app pick is going to be an app called PhotoSwipe, which is available for both Android and iOS. And that's the cool part about it is that it allows you to swipe photos from an Android device to an iOS device. So you could, if you're like me, some people have both devices, some people don't, or maybe you just want to share a photo with someone else that has an iOS device, just have them download the app. There's no signing into Wi-Fi that doesn't connect via Wi-Fi. You don't have to pair of devices via Bluetooth. It's just as long as you both have the app, you choose the photos you want and you swipe them over, and you just it shows up on their device. So it's pretty freaking awesome. So like I always carry my iPhone around with me as like a gaming / camera because it has like the best smartphone camera ever. So I can take pictures now of my food, my lunch and breakfast and dinner, and I could just swipe it over to my Android device and then post it, using that. But it's pretty darn awesome. And to see it in action, it almost looks like magic. It's so cool the way it works. But it's PhotoSwipe with an F and one word swipe. So not PH like Fandroid, which should be with an F, but it's with a PH. You know what I mean.
The name of the app just made me think of something. When are one-word names for apps going to run out? Because, I don't know, I just thought of that this week because there's like Inbox. Then Twitter has set Fabric. Like there's all these trendy, catchy app names, just like a word.
Oh, yeah.
You run out.
Yeah, there's only so many now, right? Like
No,
It's,
because you can spell them all different ways. You can.
yeah, like that's. I guess that's why. I bet you there is a photo swipe, but it's probably like with the original PH instead of an F. So you're like, oh, we're gonna make ours with an F. Kind of like Fandroid. There's already a Fandroid with an F. Gotta put the PH in there. Mix it up.
Is there a Fandroid with an F?
Yeah, somebody owns it out there. I think it's like a French Android site or something. But
No, that's
oh,
Fran.
that's Frandroid. Yeah, that's the French one. But there is an F one now.
That actually exists? Frandroid?
Yeah, it's the French Android site.
Oh man, it does. All right. Did we have any more questions here? I thought this was pretty funny, and this might be a language issue why this sounds funny to me, but SizeUPL, I have iPhone 6 and I think this mobile phone is really bad.
Hmm.
I don't
That's
know
what Chris just said.
Yeah, that's. I think he just spam. That guy's spamming. He just said what I said. So I would have to agree with him in
Yeah.
many regards.
All right, well, I think that's going to wrap things up for this week. You can send us an email with reward.com, and we read those on the air if you'd like to get in touch with us there. You can also subscribe to the podcast, the audio version, on Stitcher Radio, iTunes, and in the Windows Phone Store. If you subscribe to us there, leave us a review. And then you can follow us on Twitter. Chris is at GamerCore. Kevin is at You Don't Know Kev, and I am at Tall Schmo. And we will see you guys next week. Later.
Bye.